In today's society, it is believed that race, gender, and socioeconomic status are some of the key factors that predict the advantage of some individuals to lead over others. First of all, let's explain what is the concept of leadership. Contrary to popular belief, leadership is not simply being president of a nation or a big enterprise. In fact, leadership is not even a person with a little of boss. Kevin Cruz in Forbes' article explains that leadership is a process of social influence which maximizes the effort of others towards the achievement of a goal. If one chose to refer to a CEO or a person in office, perhaps the correct term would be authority. Following a leader is voluntary, while listening to authority is mandatory. Now that there is a clear division between leadership and authority, now we can explain the reasons why some people seem to have innate advantages in reaching authority positions. Unfortunately, many people believe that skin color can determine whether an individual is morally superior and a more trustworthy person. A dramatic representation of these racist ideas can be found in the many white supremacist groups and organizations in the United States, such as the Ku Klux Klan. This group is an extremist white supremacy hate group in the United States that has been around since the Reconstruction. It is famous for their ridiculous pointy attire and the outrageous demonstrations and propaganda. It can seem rather weak because of its current members, but through history, they have proven to be quite dangerous and shamelessly violent. This might be a dramatic example, but millions of people who are not part of the Klan still hold prejudiced or hateful ideas about non-whites. Another factor that can give a person an advantage when it comes to leadership is gender. Men have always been the image of domination and prestige, while women represent the lack of power and capacity. A survey conducted by the Pew Research Center found out that men believe that gender differences are based on biology and women say they are established in social expectations. 35% of all those surveyed said physical attractiveness is the characteristic society values most about women, and only 9% said ambition and leadership. For men, 33% said the characteristic society most values is honesty and morality, followed by professional financial success 23% and ambition leadership 19%. This proves that women are expected to just be pretty and let the men take care of the decision making they are thought incapable of doing. A clear example of how women have proven time and again to be just as capable as men to excel in every way is Elizabeth Blackwell, also known as America's first female doctor.
Elizabeth Blackwell was the first woman doctor in the United States. She also had a passion for women's rights and abolishing slavery. Blackwell was born in Bristol, England in 1821. When she was 11 years old, her family moved to New York. Her father intended to open a sugar refinery like the one he had in England. Once settling in America, her father was able to see the evils of slavery, and much of the sugar industry relied on the use of people held as slaves. He disliked this very much and moved his family to Cincinnati, Ohio to start a beet sugar farm, which wasn't dependent on slave labor. But shortly after their move, Blackwell's father died and left the family in deep financial debt. Blackwell and her sisters decided to start a school for young girls to help make ends meet for the family. The school provided some income, but soon Blackwell was ready for a new adventure. She visited a friend who had been sick, and the friend was telling her about the treatment she'd been receiving. She said she felt her treatment would have been better if she had been treated by a female doctor. This started a spark in Blackwell, and she began looking further into the idea. The process of earning enough money for medical school and being accepted into one was a very long, tedious process. While she applied to schools and received denial letters, she spent her time studying medical books. Soon, other physicians recommended that she either study in Paris or disguise herself as a man. Finally, Blackwell was accepted into Hobart College in upstate New York. It was almost by accident that she was accepted. The dean of the school had received her application and had the 150 male students vote on accepting her. They all thought it was a joke, and they all voted yes. Weren't they all surprised when Elizabeth Blackwell stepped on campus? Blackwell later chose to finish her medical degree in Europe, and she studied in schools over there. She was still met with much opposition because she was a woman, but she stayed focused. Once she graduated, she came back to America to open her own practice. Blackwell wasn't always met with open arms as a female doctor. She had to break down many stereotypes about women in the medical field. Her bravery and steadfastness helped pave the way for women in the medical field today.
One last reason some people are inherently more privileged than others is the socioeconomic status. In today's society, the amount of money a person has is a defining factor of which opportunities will be available for him or for her. Money is also the mean of influence in any kind of political activity. According to the New York Times, polls show that 84% of the population in the United States believe that money has too much influence in political campaigns. Those beliefs can be confirmed with Michelle Obama's advice for a political success. If you want to have influence in political American process, write a big, fat check. The advantage of the wealthy is what destroys true democracy, challenges the economic growth in the country, and destroys many possibilities for the poor ones to break out of the cycle of poverty. Wealthy people also have the advantage of being able to afford prestigious higher education. Statistics show that teenagers who came from wealthy backgrounds are 10 times more likely to attend the most competitive universities. According to Forbes, nearly 1/3 of all U.S. presidents and half of all Supreme Court justices attended one of the 8 Ivy League schools. Now here's a little video clip I made to conclude.